In today's world, most people still interpret the economy through the lens of human emotion, supply and demand, and market speculation. They ask, what is the price? Will it go up? How can I profit? But Pi Network introduces a radically different paradigm, one that does not treat value as something socially negotiated, but as something mathematically encoded. The Global Consensus Value, or GCV, is not just another price on a chart. It is a coordinate, a fixed point of alignment for every transaction, every smart contract, and every utility within the Pi ecosystem. If the traditional economy is like navigating by guessing distances, then GCV is the GPS origin that anchors the entire map. The USD is relative. Bitcoin is volatile. But GCV is the axis, the 0, 0, of a new economic coordinate system. The first step of true Pi education is to understand this. GCV is not a price, it is an axis of alignment. This shift demands a transformation in how humans think. Most people are still stuck in asterisk market thinking, obsessed with price movement, emotion, and speculation. But Pi requires a new mindset, code thinking, the ability to understand value through logic, structure, and algorithms. Market thinking tries to predict profits. Code thinking tries to understand order. To grasp the Pi economy is not to guess the future, but to decode the system that governs value. This represents a monumental educational shift, from economics to mathematics, from psychology to logic, from emotion to structure. Therefore, the goal of Pi education is not to transfer information. It is to transform cognition. Pi is not teaching people how markets move. It is teaching humanity how to think in algorithms. At the core of this algorithmic civilization lies a new definition of trust. In the traditional economy, trust is emotional. I trust this brand. I trust this bank. I trust this person. But in the Pi architecture, trust is no longer a feeling, it is a formula. Trust equals code consistency times verified identity. GCV represents the coordinate of value. KYC represents the coordinate of existence. When value and identity are mathematically aligned, trust becomes verifiable, not assumed. This is the birth of ethical economics, where transparency replaces manipulation and logic replaces speculation. The future economy will not be about how to make money, but how to generate trust. And this leads us to the true role of pioneers. A pioneer is not just someone who mines Pi. They are interpreters of a new civilization. They do not merely observe markets. They read the world in the language of code. The purpose of pioneer education is not price prediction, but code literacy, the ability to interpret economic logic through mathematical structures. This journey unfolds in 3 stages. First, the cognitive phase, understanding GCV and the concept of a constant economy. Second, the logical phase, learning to reason with code-based trust systems. Third, the applied phase, practicing verified economic activity through real Pi utilities, services, and DAO structures. This is not technical training, this is civilizational reprogramming. It is the shift from being consumers of value to designers of value. Ultimately, the greatest barrier to progress is not lack of data, but lack of understanding. People are not confused because they lack information. They are confused because they are still using an outdated mental model. Education in the age of Pi is not about filling minds with facts. It is about reshaping how humans perceive truth. The GCV is not merely a constant. It is a lesson on how civilization can anchor trust in logic instead of emotion. In this new era, those who understand code will not just participate in the economy. They will design the future of civilization. Because Pi Network is not simply building a currency. It is building the foundation of the coded civilization.